Okay, apparently this video is going to have a part 1 and part 2 unless I can figure out how to connect 2 videos together. I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and so I was recording, and when someone called me, it cut the video. It stopped it. I don't know how to connect 2 videos together at the moment. I'm sure it's very easy for people that know how to do it. I just haven't looked into that or haven't figured that out yet. So okay, so what I was showing on my Dualtron, I keep saying Dualtron. I do like Dualtron scooters. My new scooter is the Wolf King GT Pro, and as I said, this one was purchased used, and the person rode it really, really hard for 2,000 miles. This thing still runs like new. They always fast charged it with a 5 amp fast charger. I'm adding to that 3 more amps, so I'm charging it at 8 amps, and I have a 15 amp charger. And if you want to learn about that charger, look up Ginger on Wheels YouTube channel and look up fast charging your super scooters. And I have a charger similar to that where I can control the amps and the volts. And so I'll be experimenting with fast charging this at close to 15 amps. I found out that the Dualtron Storm Up edition, or even the regular Dualtron Storm, which just has a little bit smaller of a battery, can be charged. The Dualtron Storm can be charged at 16 amps, is what Ginger on Wheels was saying. And I didn't know that. But if that's the case, it makes me think that this one probably could handle similar, because this has a super good battery in it. This one, I think, has LG cells in it, but they come with LG or Samsung cells, both very good. And I'm thinking if this Dualtron Storm can handle that, I think this could too. So I'm going to try that, and I'll take a chance on it. I'll just watch the temperature of the battery. I know fast charging, people say, can degrade the battery. That's okay with me. I want to fast charge. I want to ride the scooter. I don't want to wait 8 hours or however many hours it takes to charge a scooter real slow. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in charging as fast as it can and riding it again. And if that means I have to change the battery in a year or 2 or less, okay, then that's the cost of this hobby. For me, I'm just speaking for myself. I know people want to make the battery last as long as possible. I'm more interested in riding the scooter as quickly as I can, and also having the largest capacity battery as possible so that the charge can last longer. So that's what I'm looking for when I look for scooters. But I am happy with the scooter as it is, but I'm just thinking for improvement. I'm hoping they're going to put a larger battery in it, a much larger one, possibly doubling the battery, because there's a lot of space underneath there, especially the GTR. The GTR has a lot of space. So imagine having a 70 amp hour battery if they double the batteries, right? I was even thinking with the GTR, if or when I get that scooter, because it comes with a battery, it's already enclosed in a case, right? So buying an extra battery and then strapping it to the bottom with straps, right? Like with motorcycle tie downs or some kind of strap like that, strapping the battery in there, double-sided sticky tape between the 2 batteries, if it would work, and then just plug it in when the other one's depleted. Just plug the other one in or switch them, something like that. It's an idea, it's a thought, but it'd be nice if it just came with that. That would be a 70 amp hour battery, right? That would be really big capacity. So going back to the display here, what I was showing was, if you didn't see the first video, which I recommend glancing at, this is going to be part 2 right here. If you let's back up a little bit. So we're at level 1. Well, okay, so once you're into the menu, I'm just showing. I wanted to have a walk mode. I'll start over with my story. I wanted to have a walk mode on my Wolf King GT Pro. So I thought, how can I give this a walk mode? I'm going to take setting 1, level 1. Voro Motors was explaining to me that I can program this, like I can tune it, right, to my preference. So I took program 1, level 1, and I modified it. I lowered the speed limitation to 13%. The electronic braking, this has 5 levels, right? All levels, all of them, all settings, all 5 settings have the electronic brakes at 5 maximum. I like electronic brakes because I don't like wearing out my brake pads, and I like the feel of electronic brakes. Okay, so when I tap the brake and that brake light comes on, that engages the electronic braking system, which turns both motors into generators, if I understand correctly, and then it puts a little bit of power back into the battery, between 1%, 5%, or up to 10%, depending on the scooter. Some scooters recover the energy better than others. That has to do with the battery cell's resistance, right? We want very little resistance is preferable, and it has to do with many things. There's many factors, but like I was saying, I'm not looking for how much energy I can capture from the batteries when I stop. I'm looking for saving my brake pads and reducing maintenance. I don't want to change the brake pads. You're going to hear me talk about that a lot because I don't hear anyone say that. They might mention it like the main thing is people talk about is they're talking about the energy. Oh, I'm not getting that much energy. And I guess they were excited about charging the battery. And when, they find out they're only getting, less than 10% or maybe 1%, as low as 1%, they're disappointed maybe, and they're upset, maybe upset by that. I don't know. I'm just glad that I'm not using the brake pads as much or at all, right? And brake pads on scooters, it has these metal plates. I think bikes have this too, bicycles. It's these metal plates that push the pads away from the rotor. So they literally are not rubbing against the rotor. If you look at cars, automobiles, those brake pads literally rub against the rotors. They're always touching. They just touch, like that, they touch it. And then when you push the brakes, it pushes harder, and then it just stops putting pressure, and they still rub. So those are always rubbing, but these have like a zero friction. These brake pads just pull away because it has that metal plate that separates that compresses the, I guess you can call it compresses the calipers, the brake calipers, these things that have the hydraulic fluid in there. So going back to this here, we're going to go through each menu. This is level 1. Okay, let's go to level 2. So we've seen all these. My speed limitation is 13%. My electronic braking is is level 5, which is the maximum. All of them have that on this. I put them all at 5. My front motor current is limited to 13 amps. My rear motor current is limited to 13 amps. My front motor acceleration and rear motor acceleration is at level 2, because level 1, if you push it, it'll actually literally not do anything for like 2 or 3 seconds, and then it'll just start to roll. It'll just roll. So it very gradually will get the scooter going. I don't need it to be that slow, so I put it on level 2, and it just takes off. It's reduced power, but it actually does accelerate without delay. So so let's go next to the next one. We'll go to the level 2 now. So let's go to exit. Let's see what 2 looks like. Okay, 2, I have speed limitation 45%. The braking is 5. The fact that we use these really noisy engines in airplanes, it makes absolutely no sense to me, because we have electrogravitic and electrogravity technologies that have been developed many, many years ago that are just totally silent. And it's not, you can find these things if you just look up John Searle, Ralph Ring, Otis T. Carr, Thomas Townsend Brown. There's so many people that developed this technology. But the technology's been here for so long, and we just have to, I guess, vote for it. I guess that's what's required, is just voting for it, I guess, and just saying you want it, And like I said, we don't have to have all the cars and scooters don't have to be in the air. They could just be a few inches off the air. But airplanes can go, those can still fly, but they can use a different propulsion system. They can use an electrogravity propulsion system, which is basically high voltage potential. And then using rotating magnetic fields. It could be electromagnet, or it can be permanent magnets, and that are rotating to help steer. I think, from my research and study, indicate that's how we can steer the gravity fields. We can choose what direction we go and things like that. But anyway, so going back to the video, we're at so just study particle physics and electrodynamics to learn more about the universe. That's what I'm studying too myself. So let's see. So on level 2, which is the next setting in increase in power, 45% speed limitation. Electronic ABS is at 5. Now the front motor current and the rear motor current are both at 28 now. So we have more current going. We're still at level 2 for the acceleration, because that's a good one. It's still good. It's a good speed. So this is the one I've been riding today. I've been riding in this one, and my battery's still really, really full, because I'm not using the maximum power. I rode a little bit in the level 5 at higher speeds as well, but mostly for about 70% of my riding today was at this level 2 right here. Okay, so let's go back and let's look at level 3 now. I don't think I touched 3. I think 3 is just where it was. So the speed limitation is at 80%. Now the electronic brakes, I did adjust on all of them. They're all at 5. So that's the one thing I did change on this menu. Otherwise, I think this is the way it comes. So front and rear motors are at 40 amps. And the acceleration is now level 3. So a little bit faster on the takeoff, right? Yeah, that sound you hear, those motors, those engines, all I hear is waste. That's just wasted energy, wasted heat, because we want to use electrogravity is the way to go. It's more efficient, and it's the way the universe works anyway. So it's just like getting closer to nature, really. So instead of destroying nature with combustion, right? That just destroys nature, and it destroys everything. It destroys humans too. It destroys life. It destroys health. Okay, so here, and literally the fuel is, because human life is carbon based, right? So why would we put carbon in a fuel and burn it? Like, you can't burn carbon, just like you're trying to burn life. It doesn't make any sense at all. If you want to use a fuel, use water. It's hydrogen and oxygen, and that's the perfect fuel, right? Water is the perfect fuel. Gasoline's not a fuel. It's like water mixed with carbon, which is human life, right? It's that's what life is. like we're carbon based, right? And then we have water in us. We're like 99% of the molecules in our body are water molecules. 99% are water molecules. Okay, going back to this. Fun facts, right? Okay, fun facts. Okay, so what do we have here? So we have speed limitation to 80%. We have let's see. No, is it 80? What are we at now? Level 4. Oh, that's 90%. Is that a 90? That's 90. Okay, so now speed limitation is at 90. Electronic brakes still at 5 because I put them all at 5. Front and rear motor at 45 amps. And the acceleration is now level 4. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Let's go to 5 now. Now what do we have? We have speed limitation. It's 100%, which means no limitation, right? It's using 100% of the power. Electronic braking still at 5 because I maxed it out on all of them. I wish it went higher, actually, and I also wish that when I let off the accelerator, I had the choice of the brake turning on really strong or tuning it to my preference. Hey, Art, how you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah.
I'm just making a video.
It's looking good, the bike.
Thank you. Yeah, I like this one.
You've changed so many. How many do you have now?
I've probably had about 20 scooters altogether.
How many do you have at the moment?
I sold them all. This is the last one. I have this. Well, I have this one and one other one, but I'm getting rid of it. So it's going to be down to this one. Yeah. You want to say hi to the camera?
Hi, camera.
This is Art.
Hi.
Art, you're a first responder, right?
I'm what?
You're
used to be a first responder, but I also worked at NBC. I worked on the Tonight Show for 27 straight years, doing the lighting.
That's right. You worked for someone that everybody knows, a household
Jay
name.
Leno.
Yeah.
Johnny Carson.
That's great. And you did the lighting, right?
Yep.
Lighting design or what do they call it?
With lighting tech.
Lighting tech. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good to see you.
Have a good one.
You too. Take care, Art.
Hey, Joe.
Okay. That was Art. He's a very nice man. Okay, so we're back to the video here. What was I talking about? I looked back and Art was watching me, and I thought I would say hi. Why not, right? It was nice of him to not interrupt my video, but it was also nice of him to say hi to everybody. So here we are. We're at speed limitation, 100%. Electronic braking's at level 5. This is level 5 now, right? We're on level 5, which is the highest setting. So front and rear motors current are at 50. Now that can go higher. Watch this. I just saw this. I couldn't believe it. I can go up to 60. I'm not going to do it. I leave it at 50. But even at the maximum, I think the default settings, which I think is 50. I mean, that's how when I got the scooter, it was set here. I don't know if that's where it belongs. Or I'm guessing that's, my guess would be that it's defaults at 50, but we'd have to reset it to see if that really is true, because it might default at 60. But if it does default at 50 and you want more power, we could add 10 more amps to each of those motors. Okay, so front motor and rear motor acceleration, we have level 5. That's the maximum acceleration speed, so it just takes off like a rocket. Okay, everyone, and it's super smooth. Okay, so we're hearing another plane now. You hear all these planes? Now these planes, there's no reason at all that we should hear that, because if we use our latest knowledge, right, when we use our knowledge and wisdom and apply it to transportation, we don't have that sound, because we have, gravity drive that's totally silent. And it's a lot of fun too. It's more efficient, and we're not burning We're not trying to burn carbon. Why are we burning carbon? Hydrocarbon fuel. Why would we do that? Carbon doesn't burn. What's it even doing there, right? If you want to burn fuel, just burn water. That's a fuel. Okay, water is more of a fuel than gasoline and petrol are. Gasoline and petrol is not a fuel. Okay, it has carbon in it. Carbon's not a fuel. Oxygen and hydrogen make a perfect fuel, and that's what water is. Okay, going back to this. Let's see. Yeah, so that's level 5. Okay, so now let's exit this. Now, to save everything, I was told that you have to go and exit all the way out, or it will not save, okay? And you definitely want your settings to save, right? So there we are. Now I'm going to do something that I shouldn't do until I'm going to ride it, which I'm going to switch it over to dual motor, and I'm going to go to level 5. See that? I am not going to leave the scooter like that, because if I accidentally hit the throttle, this thing is going to jump. It's going to launch into space. It's going to launch and crash, and it could hurt someone, it could hurt itself. What I'm going to do is bring that back down to the lowest speed right there. Okay? I'm going to bring it down to eco mode. I don't think eco mode can be modified. I think that's a fixed pre-programmed setting. Okay, everyone. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and this is going to be a 2-part video unless tonight I figure out how to connect 2 videos together in a very simple way. I just need to ask someone. I'm going to go to the Apple store and just say, how do I connect 2 videos together? I'm sure it's so easy to do, just like everything is once we learn how to do it, right? Everything's easy once we know how to do it. Someone once said, could you ever explain to someone how to ride a bicycle? No, they have to just ride it. And that's life, right? That's the electrogravity, spaceships that'll allow us to travel throughout the universe faster than the speed of light. That's the levitating scooter that can go 2 inches off the ground and levitate and ride just like it's touching the ground. It won't be floating. It's going to be like locked in space 2 inches above the ground. It's going to be solid there, right? So that technology is completely developed, and it's been perfected for so long, and people say they're just waiting for humanity to mature enough to use the technology. Let me ask you something. With the advanced technologies that we have today, are we mature enough to even be driving cars and using scooters and any kind of technology? Look what we're doing with technology. We fight with each other with it. That's not what technology is for. Okay, that's like, I want to say it's cheating. It's like cheating, right? It's like, what I mean is, and it's not cheating, it's perverse, really. It's perverse, right? War is perverse. If someone's getting hurt, that's perversion. That's the definition of perversion, okay? Perversion is someone's getting hurt, right? So war is perverse. We shouldn't be using technology to fight each other when we have disagreements, okay? And we need to learn right away in school. That's where it has to happen, and at home, both places. Because home says we don't have time, and school says we don't have time. But there's nothing more important. It's the most important thing there is to teach the value of life and the value of solution-oriented worldwide collaboration, meaning how to problem solve and never to fight. That's not even an option. Not promoting fighting, not promoting winning like that, like we're going to beat them, No, it's how do we work out problems? How do we find solutions together? Because what we have is these really super advanced technologies, and I mean far beyond imagination, and you think science fiction is totally outdated, really. And I mean that. Science fiction is so far behind, it's like a million years behind. What can be done and what's being done, what can be done and what is available to be done, if I say it that way. So we must teach children in school right away, and the parents too. There should be classes for parents, because, how are the parents going to learn? What if they don't know? What if they weren't taught? What if the parents weren't taught this, right? Yeah, so parents need to be this needs to be education for everyone, school, parents, everyone. Value of life and the value and the process of solution-oriented worldwide collaboration. Meaning, how do we work out problems? How do we solve things? Not how do we make a more deadly weapon, and how do we hurt them more than us? Like, how do we hurt the other person more, right? No. That's not good. That's a dead end. That's not going to go anywhere. All that leads to is the end of the world at some point in time, right? It's a very obvious thing. Kids know this. They're worried about it. They're stressed about it, right? Children shouldn't have to grow up in fear of us misusing tools. These are tools. Technology is a tool to create solutions, to help humanity. not to fight, right? Okay, so we covered many things today, and I do that a lot, so I hope that I didn't bore you too much. Okay, everyone, until next time, true zero emissions.